For Canucks, the nightmare scenario has a name, and it's Zeev Buium. Not because of the player, but because of what he represents. The future of the defense, a potential franchise cornerstone, and now a prime target. The hockey world, of course, just witnessed a league-shattering $90 million offer sheet for Anaheim's Leo Carlsson. While that drama unfolds in California, the aftershocks are heading directly for Vancouver. That move didn't just expose a vulnerability in the NHL system, it painted a giant target on the backs of the league's best young players. And for the Canucks, that means the clock is officially ticking on Zeev Buium. Let's be clear about what just happened, because it's the catalyst for the Canucks' entire problem. Now, of course, as we know, and we talked about in our last two videos, the Philadelphia Flyers, a team with cap space to burn, use the single most aggressive tool that a GM has, the offer sheet. They didn't just make a competitive offer for Leo Carlsson. They made one designed to be almost impossible for the Anaheim Ducks to match without there being some sort of consequences. Now, as we know, 5 years, $90 million, and $18 million cap hit, that makes him, of course, the highest paid player in the NHL. This move has created a new reality. It has shown every aggressive GM that if they are willing to pay the price, in this case, 4 first-round picks, they can, as we talked about, weaponize their cap space to try and poach another team's future. A contract this massive is a shockwave that destabilizes the entire league. It resets the market, not just for elite centers, but for all elite young players. Suddenly, any negotiation for a player of Zeev Buium's caliber, a potential franchise defenseman, has this absurd new comparable in the background. It creates leverage for agents and panic for management. And after a move this bold, every GM in the league is pouring over the CBA, looking for the next target, which brings us directly to Vancouver's doorstep and how this affects Vancouver and Zeev Buium. Now, this is where the league-wide bombshell becomes a very specific and a very real problem for Ryan Johnson and Daniel and Henrik Sedin. This is why the Canucks are now the team on the clock. The target, Zeev Buium, as we mentioned, drafted 12th overall in 2024. Buium represents the future of the Canucks' blue line, a smooth, skating, intelligent, top-pairing defenseman in the making. His entry-level deal is set to expire next summer, making him a restricted free agent and a very, very tempting target for a hostile offer sheet. Now, let's look at the cold, hard numbers, because the math is what makes this situation so dangerous for Vancouver. An aggressive GM inspired by the chaos of that Carlsson deal could look at Buium and decide to force the Canucks' hand. They might not go, full $18 million, but what about a 7-year offer at $10.5 million AAV? Based on recent offer sheet compensation tiers, an offer in that range would cost the offering team 2 first-round picks, a second-round pick, and a third-round pick. Now, for a team that believes Buium is a future Norris Trophy candidate, which, by the way, I do, that price is not too steep. The question is, could the Canucks match it? Let's look at their books for the 2026-27 season. Let's also keep in mind the cap is going up. Elias Pettersson is already on the books for $11.6 million. Filip Hronek's extension counts for $7.25 million. Thatcher Demko's deal, which just kicked in on July 1st, is in. Brock Besser's, his deal has already kicked in. And hanging over all of this is the OEL buyout, which the Canucks are still dealing with, and have a painful cap hit of over $4.7 million in the 26-27 season. You add all that up, and you see the problem. Could the Canucks find a way to squeeze in a $10.5 million AAV for Zeev Buium, depending on what they do for the rest of free agency, during the season, whatnot? You're talking about, or what would you sacrifice? Talk about losing key roster players. You're talking about getting your depth. You're forced into an impossible choice. Overpay for a young defenseman who is not yet a proven superstar, or lose a potential franchise cornerstone for a package of draft picks that may or may not turn into anything valuable down the line, especially since the Canucks are in a rebuild right now. And this would be like the worst case scenario for the Canucks in their rebuild. if they were to, say, lose Zeev Buium next summer due to an offer sheet, depending on, what the offer sheet is. Now, of course, this is the definition of being caught between a rock and a hard place, quite literally. And before we get into the one move that the Canucks could make to prevent this whole scenario, this whole entire freaking disaster, a move that might only be available for a very limited time. If you're enjoying this breakdown, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to support the content and stay ahead of the curve. So, how do the Canucks defuse this ticking time bomb? The answer lies in a unique opportunity presented by the current CBA, which is set to expire on September 15th, 2026, with a new agreement already ratified to ensure labor peace. Now, according to multiple reports and insiders, one of the biggest changes in the next CBA is, of course, a reduction in maximum contract length. For years, teams have been able to re-sign their own players to 8-year deals. However, this new CBA, which kicks in on September 15th, that maximum term will be reduced to 7 years. This means the 8-year contract as we know it is about to become a relic of a bygone era. Now, this creates a small, critical window of opportunity for the Canucks. Zeev Buium, of course, became eligible to sign a contract extension on July 1st. This means the Canucks have until then, to September 15th, to do something no team will be able to do again, sign Zeev Buium to an 8-year contract under the current CBA rules. Now, why is this the ultimate defensive maneuver? First, it provides absolute immunity. Once Buium is signed, he is no longer an RFA. He cannot be given an offer sheet. The threat is completely neutralized, and the Canucks don't got to worry about that. Second, it offers incredible value and stability by spreading a large total dollar amount over 8 years instead of the new maximum of 7. You lower the actual AAV. A 7-year, $63 million contract is a $9 million cap hit, but an 8-year, $64 million contract is an $8 million cap hit. That extra year provides $1 million of crucial cap space every single season. And as I mentioned, the cap is going up. Many people forget, but the Canucks' former franchise defenseman Quinn Hughes signed a 6-year deal, not an 8-year one. The team has a chance to give Buium a level of term and security that even Quinn Hughes didn't get with the Canucks. Now, by signing Buium to an 8-year deal, the moment he's able to, whether that's, in the next few days, next few weeks, a couple months from now, or like during the season, at least, before next summer, the Canucks can get ahead of the market. They can sign him based on his potential likely, on his potential likely in the $7.5, $8.5 million AAV range before a hostile offer sheet or another year of development drives that price tag north of $10 million that we talked about earlier. It's a preemptive strike. It's taking control of the narrative. The stunning offer sheet, of course, for Leo Carlsson, as we talked about in our last 2 videos, has changed the landscape of the league as we talked. And the real story, for the Canucks, is the dangerous reality it has created for Buium in particular. Now, an aggressive GM armed with cap space can now look at Vancouver and see, a proven opportunity to pounce, forcing them into an impossible choice. Now, again, I'm not saying that a team's going to offer Zeev Buium $18 million, but a astronomical price, and Canucks may not be able to match it. But Canucks will have a silver bullet with an expiration date. As we talked about, they have the ability for a limited time to sign Zeev Buium to that 8-year contract before September 15th, a move that would not only secure their defensive future for the next decade, but would also shield them entirely from the threat of an offer sheet. It offers cost certainty, stability, protection. The risk is committing long-term to a player who, of course, is still, developing, but the risk of waiting, of letting another GM control the situation is now demonstrably greater because of Leo Carlsson and whatnot. So the clock is ticking, and the decision Ryan Johnson makes this summer could very well define the Canucks for the next 10 years. So Now, I want to turn the question over to you, the people. What should the Canucks do? Should they pull the trigger and sign Zeev Buium to an 8-year extension right now, as in this summer? Or is the risk of committing that much term and money to a young player too great? Again, keep in mind, the cap is going up. It already went up. It's going to go up again next year and the year after that. Would you take your chances? And if the worst happens, heaven forbid, take the picks. Let me know your game plan in the comment section down below. If you guys, once again, enjoyed this breakdown, on your way out, you can like the video and subscribe to the Line Change for more Canucks, NHL, and off-season related content. You can also become a member of the Line Change by smashing that join button. And hey, once again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And now, a quick important message from our friends over at DraftKings. It all came down to it, a best-of-6 battle that saw the Carolina Hurricanes emerge as the Stanley Cup champions. Now as we enter the offseason, DraftKings has you covered every step of the way. The DraftKings Sports app is now available in all 50 states and includes all markets. Sweat every shift of the series all in one place with one app. New DraftKings customers sign up with code THPN, spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code THPN in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Bet with DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, that text pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Void in Ontario. Event contract trading with DraftKings predictions involves risk of loss. Sportsbook bonus bets expire in 7 days. $50 in predictions dollars issued weekly for 3 weeks expire in 1 year. Redeem one non-withdrawable reward. Availability varies. Predictions offer void in New York. Ends June 28th. Terms at dkng.co/audio.
Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.